1632. Modification to requirements relating to nuclear force reductions. Section 494, C, of Title 10, United States Code, is amended, 1, by striking December 31, 2011 foot each place it appears and inserting December 31, 2021, and 2, in paragraph 3, by striking December 31, 2017 and inserting February 1, 2025. Sec. 1633. Modifications to requirements relating to unilateral changes in nuclear weapons stockpile of the United States. Section 498 of Title 10, United States Code, is amended, 1, by striking subsection A, and inserting the following new subsection, A, in general, other than pursuant to a treaty to which the Senate has provided advice and consent pursuant to Section 2 of Article 2 of the Constitution of the United States. If the President has under consideration to unilaterally change the size of the total stockpile of nuclear weapons of the United States, or the total number of deployed nuclear weapons, as defined under the New START Treaty, by more than 20%, prior to doing so the President shall initiate a nuclear posture review. Two, in subsection C, by striking in the nuclear weapons stockpile by more than 25% and inserting described in subsection A. 3, in subsection D, by striking treaty obligations and inserting obligations pursuant to a treaty to which the Senate has provided advice and consent pursuant to Section 2 of Article 2 of the Constitution, and 4, by adding at the end the following, F. New START Treaty defined in this section. The term New START Treaty means the treaty between the United States of America and the Russian Federation on measures for the further reduction and limitation of strategic offensive arms, signed on April 8, 2010, and entered into force on February 5, 2011. Sec. 1634. Deadline for reports on modification of force structure for strategic nuclear weapons delivery systems. Section 493 of Title 10, United States Code, is amended in the first sentence by inserting after report on the modification the following: not less than 180 days before the intended effective date of the modification. Sec. 1635. Modification of deadline for notifications relating to reduction, consolidation, or withdrawal of nuclear forces based in Europe. Section 497(b) of Title 10, United States Code, is amended by striking 60 days and inserting 120 days. Sec. 1636. Procurement authority for certain parts of the ground-based strategic deterrent cryptographic device. A. In general, the Secretary of the Air Force may enter into contracts for the life-of-type procurement of covered parts supporting the KS-75 cryptographic device under the Ground-Based Strategic Deterrent Program. B. Availability of funds. Notwithstanding Section 1502(a) of Title 31, United States Code, of the amount authorized to be appropriated for fiscal year 2022 by Section 101 and available for missile procurement, Air Force, as specified in the corresponding funding table in Section 4101. $10,900,000 shall be available for the procurement of covered parts pursuant to contracts entered into under subsection A. C. Covered parts defined in this section. The term covered parts means commercially available off-the-shelf items as defined in Section 104 of Title 41, United States Code. Sec. 1637. Capability of B-21 bomber aircraft with long-range standoff weapon. The Secretary of the Air Force shall ensure that the B-21 bomber aircraft is capable of employing the long-range standoff weapon. Sec. 1638. Mission Design Series popular name for ground-based strategic deterrent. A. Requirement. Not later than 90 days after the date of the enactment of this Act, the Secretary of the Air Force, in coordination with the Under-Secretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment, shall establish a Mission Design Series popular name for the ground-based strategic deterrent, consistent with the procedures set forth in Department of Defense Directive 4120.15, relating to designating and naming military aerospace vehicles. B. Notification, not later than 10 days after completing the requirement under subsection A. The Secretary of the Air Force shall notify the Congressional Defense Committees of the completion of the requirement. Sec. 1639. Prohibition on reduction of the intercontinental ballistic missiles of the United States. A. Prohibition. Except as provided in subsection B. None of the funds authorized to be appropriated by this Act or otherwise made available for fiscal year 2022 for the Department of Defense may be obligated or expended for the following, and the Department may not otherwise take any action to do the following: 1. Reduce, or prepare to reduce, the responsiveness or alert level of the intercontinental ballistic missiles of the United States. 2. Reduce, or prepare to reduce, the quantity of deployed intercontinental ballistic missiles of the United States to a number less than 400. B. Exception. The prohibition in subsection A shall not apply to any of the following activities: 1. the maintenance or sustainment of intercontinental ballistic missiles. 2. Ensuring the safety, security, or reliability of intercontinental ballistic missiles. Sec. 1640. Limitation on availability of certain funds until submission of information relating to proposed budget for nuclear-armed sea-launched cruise missile. Of the funds authorized to be appropriated by this Act or otherwise made available for fiscal year 2022 for the Department of Defense for travel by any personnel of the Office of the Secretary of the Navy, not more than 75% may be obligated or expended until the Secretary of the Navy submits to the Congressional Defense Committees all written communications from or to personnel of the Department of the Navy regarding the proposed budget amount or limitation for the nuclear-armed sea-launched cruise missile contained in the defense budget materials, as defined by Section 231(f) of Title 10, United States Code, relating to the Navy for fiscal year 2023. Sec. 1641. Limitation on availability of certain funds until submission of information relating to nuclear-armed sea-launched cruise missile. Of the funds authorized to be appropriated by this Act or otherwise made available for fiscal year 2022 for the Department of Defense for travel by any personnel of the Office of the Secretary of Defense, other than travel by the Secretary of Defense or the Deputy Secretary of Defense, not more than 75% may be obligated or expended until the Secretary, 1. submits to the Congressional Defense Committees the analysis of alternatives for the nuclear-armed sea-launched cruise missile, and 2. provides to such committees a briefing on such analysis of alternatives. Sec. 1642. Annual certification on readiness of Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missiles. Not later than March 1, 2022, and annually thereafter until the date on which the ground-based strategic deterrent weapon achieves initial operating capability. The Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff shall certify to the Congressional Defense Committees whether the state of the readiness of Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missiles requires placing heavy bombers equipped with nuclear gravity bombs or air-launched nuclear cruise missiles, an associated refueling tanker aircraft, on alert status. Sec. 1643. Revised Nuclear Posture Review. A. Requirement for comprehensive review. In order to clarify the nuclear deterrence policy and strategy of the United States for the near term, the Secretary of Defense, acting through the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy and the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, shall conduct a comprehensive review of the nuclear posture of the United States for the 5- and 10-year periods following the date of the review. The Secretary shall conduct the review in consultation with the Secretary of Energy, the Secretary of State, and the Director of National Intelligence.